So, Bobby, what is back to basics? What does that mean?
I think some more standalones. I think a smaller canvas, even for the this year's mythology. It's not the apocalypse. It's not Amara. It's not God. I think very much about the boys and personal stuff. Just kind of bringing Mom back. This hunt for Lucifer is very personal, especially for Cass. And, so everybody has their sort of agenda. It'll be turned upside down a little bit later in the season as the men of letters become more prevalent in the storyline and their view on things as opposed to our guys' view on things. But I think some kind of good standalones, telling the kind of stories we used to tell in season 3, 4. We always feel that one of our strengths is that we make these monsters interesting. Not so much creating new monsters, but giving personality to the monsters that we have. And I think that's one thing that's kept us on the air for a while and sets us apart from some other shows like this is that when you have the alpha vampire, it's a really interesting character. Kate the werewolf is a really interesting character. Eric Kripke used to say that every villain is the hero of his own story. And that's something that we've really lived by. So their stories, we like to make their stories as interesting as our guys' stories if we can. Getting back to that sort of thing, of those sort of interesting villains with their own story.
You guys have never been afraid to kind of swing for the fences with those standalones. Every season we get something really interesting. So what have you guys been playing around with or toying around with this year?
I think the biggest swing we're taking this year so far is we're doing a story. I'm not going to give away a lot of this, but we're doing a story with the Thule, the German necromancers. It's a pretty big swing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Talking about Amara and the Dean connection, it just kind of went away. Is Amara going to come back to get more of a conclusion to that, to the Amara and Dean connection?
The Mara Dean connection? No, I think when she, I think she wrapped it up with Dean pretty good, and then she said, "I'm going to, give you something you need," which brings Mom back. That pretty much, she made her peace with what it is that, what she thought she wanted, and the idea that she and God went off together to work out whatever differences they had. I think that story is. I was very happy with the way we wrapped that up. There's a lot of internal dialogue going on about that episode, and Andrew and I were very much on board with that episode. There were certain factions that worked with us that weren't, so there was a lot of back and forth, but I think in the end I was really happy with that, and it was a different sort of season finale for us, and everybody says, "God, it's really not the way you guys do things," but all right, as you say, we take some swings, and that was our swing last year. I think it was pretty good. Anyway, we have no plans for a marathon guy.
It's a very female-centric fan base. Is there any hope that we can get more female characters on the show besides Mary and Rowena? That's all that's left.
Well, yeah, I think, it's funny, I was looking at the poster up on when we were doing the autographs, and I was saying, God, we're probably the only show on TV where the 4 leads are all men. That said, you have Sheriff Mills, you have Donna Hanscom, we've had, Mary's back this year, we've had some strong female characters. Charlie was a strong female character. So it's not like we avoid it. We don't... we don't make any conscious effort to keep it just male-centric. Oddly enough, it seems to me whenever we've had a love interest, the fans don't particularly go for that, which I don't quite understand. But I guess they think that the bond between the boys is so strong. They don't want anybody coming in between that. But again, when fans go, "Oh, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do that." That's okay. They'll keep watching, and they'll get over it. Yeah. I love watching, the people that tape themselves, record themselves watching the show. How they react, what the fudge just happened. Don't you do it, Cass? And So when we make those turns in characters, they say they hate it, but I think they love it.
How much is the Mary storyline going to really impact the boys? Obviously, she's telling us that she's coming back right when she died. There's 30 years of a gap on all sides with that. It's not going to be an easy resolution, but how long do you see that kind of arcing out and the emotional kind of byplay with that?
Well, without giving too much away, but yes, Sam is right. It's really hard, I mean, the way we portray heaven is you go to your own private heaven and it's your best memories. So her best memories are of a baby in a crib and a 4 or 5 year old boy. And now they're grown. She doesn't know them. They're doing something that she never would have picked for them to do. She's probably really in some way pissed off at John, but she can't. He's not around to say anything to. And she's a fish out of water. There was no internet. If there was a cell phone, it was probably that big. It was a really tough transition. I don't think Amara factored any of that in when she brought her back. And I think the boys have always sort of needed this mother figure, but. They also have this 30-year gap. It's not, she wasn't there to fix the scrape on the elbow. So we thought it was a really good idea. I mean, we're thrilled to have Samantha back. But that's an interesting family dynamic, and where that goes over the course of the season will evolve. And, I can just tell you that in the beginning, it's tough. It's tough on everyone concerned. And it'll play out over the course of the season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.